Okay, y'all. I need to apologize in advance because I have been trying to record this video since 10 p.m. That's my own fault for not procrastinating, but I did have a lot of stuff to do today. So I waited until the very last minute to try to record the video, and everything possible that could go wrong was going wrong. So the video done start recording like 6 times. So here we go again, take 7. I had to clear mad shit out my phone. Hopefully it's enough storage now for me to record the video all the way through. But before we get into the story time for tonight, I do want y'all to remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, this video, my previous videos, and any video in the future. Thank you. And I also need you to subscribe to my TikTok, D.DukesXxx. And I need you to subscribe to my Instagram, @DiamondDukes. Okay? So with that said, I did post a poll today on my Instagram. It was like 3 different options of the stories that I would tell. It was the time I got assaulted by a crackhead, my sugar daddy going wrong, and what was the third one? Crap, what's the third one? Oh, the New Year's Eve brawl, which was like my first fight or whatever. And do y'all know what video Instagram picked? All of them. Yeah. So all 3 videos had 33%. It was basically a tie. So I'm just gonna go with the sugar daddy story. Because after I went and I had my sister and my niece vote, and they voted on 2 different videos, so that eliminated the New Year's Eve brawl, and then it was down to the sugar daddy and the crackhead. And yeah, so I decided to go with the sugar daddy. So let's get started. So this story starts last year, 2021. It's actually ongoing, but it started last year in 2021. So that's kind of funny in its own right. Oh, wow. Around this time, actually, I started talking to the sugar daddy in October. And that really just came about because I, as y'all know or will learn, I was married and I was going through a divorce and all of that. But I was also having like relationship problems with my boyfriend or whatever. So we had just broke up like for good. And I just decided like I'm over it. Like I'm one of those people, I'm really not into the whole sugar daddy thing. I don't like men who think they can buy women's time. I don't like men who think they can bribe women in any sense of the sort. So I kind of avoid men like that. But because I was going through a breakup, I really wasn't interested in anything serious with anybody anyway. So I figured, why not, right? So how it started. This started, it was like a Saturday. I was at the local hookah bar or whatever. It's a place that I go quite often, sadly, because I'm one of those people, I don't know. I stick to what I know, and I have a good time at that spot. So I'm there like literally every weekend, every other weekend. So one weekend I run into this guy. Mind you, I'm out with my friends. So it's like 6 or 7 of us that like roll in a group together at most. At once, it would be like 7 of us. So for whatever reason, we were all out that night together. And I get the attention of this guy, and he basically just starts tricking on us the whole night, buying our drinks, rounds of shots, like paying for our hookah. Like, I'm not checking his pockets, but buying rounds of drinks for 7 females, shots, their hookah, it adds up. So clearly he was trying to make a point, and he made it to somebody, not to me, but he made it. So you know, we're just having a good time. You know, we're having a good free time at that. So, you know, we're drinking more, or I'm drinking more than I usually would, because I don't spend that type of money when I go out, because I just don't. So yeah, it comes down to the end of the night or whatever, and you know, he's trying to get my attention. I'm kind of trying to avoid him at this point because it's the end of the night. I don't know what you about to ask, but I know I don't want to do it. So I'm telling my friends like, oh, he asked for my number. I did give him the number because I don't know, like I will give somebody my number, and then like right afterwards I'd be like, damn, why I give him a real number? Why I give him a fake number? But off the top of my head, it's like I can't lie or I can't be dishonest off the rip. I have to like pre-think about it. So when he asked for my number, I kind of just gave it to him. I didn't think about like a fake number at the time. So whatever, I don't know, I'm weird, but I gave him my number. So then I'm telling my friends like, yeah, he got my number. He said he want to go to breakfast tomorrow. I don't want to go to breakfast. And you know how girls are. They're like, what, girl? He's nice, and he got the he got that dough cheddar cheese or whatever, whatever. So like, you know, they're basically telling me be nice to him and talk to him because he got money. And like I said, I'm not really into that, but at the same time, I am just failing at relationships. So I don't care. Why not try something different? Why not have a good time and just let this guy spend some money on me in the meantime until I can figure out why nobody wants to love me? I don't know. So yeah, so I decided to do that. So we're chatting like here and there, you know, throughout the course of that week or whatever. And then he randomly asked me if he could take me to Atlanta. So I'm like, no, I don't know him like that. Like I said, this is new to me. Like, I just couldn't see myself going to Atlanta with somebody that I just met, especially somebody that I'm not really interested in like that. So I said no. So like a good week goes by. It's going into the next weekend. Of course, me and a couple of my friends are back at the same bar. And we run into the same guy. And I'm going to just call him... I don't want to give him a mean name because he's kind of nice, but not really if you think about it. I'm going to call him Liar. I'm going to just call him Liar, okay? So we run into Liar at the bar, and it's round 2 from the week before. So he's buying all of our drinks, paying for our shots, paying for the hookah. It's another good night, right? So that was that. Of course, when I get home that night, he asked me if I'll go to breakfast with him in the morning. I'm like, no. But that morning, we ended up seeing one of my friends saw a flyer for this brunch, like a spooky brunch. It was a Halloween themed brunch or whatever. And I wanted to go to that. So we're like in the group chat trying to see who wants to go, but nobody is really showing interest. So I basically hit up Liar, like, oh, did you know about this? He's like, yeah, I was about to go to that. You should come, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if my friend will go. So he's like, well, you know, if y'all come, I'll pay for y'all. Just come out and have a good time. So got him. Yeah, of course I'm going to come now. So I put it in the chat. I'm like, listen, Liar's going to be there. He said he'll pay for us if we're going. So who wants to go? So one of my friends ended up deciding to go or whatever. And I'm just going to call her Brat. Just because like her persona, her energy and everything. It's like her voice is so kind of like high pitched and sweet or whatever. But her attitude's so sour. Like, I don't know. And mind y'all, I don't know this girl like personally. Like we hang out because we know the same people and we're in that like circle of friends. But me and her don't interact on like a one-on-one kind of thing. But I just know that this girl is a brat. Like in my head, I picture her growing up being spoiled as shit, crossing her arms, sticking her tongue out for candy, and somebody just giving it to her like here. Like I get brat from her, so I'm gonna call her Brat. Love you, Brat. But yeah, so we go to brunch or whatever. We pull up to brunch at the same time as Liar. So of course he goes in before us, pays for himself. We go in, they're like, oh yeah, so it's $35 for your meal, and then it's unlimited mimosas. I'm just like, okay, cool. Liar. So I don't know why he didn't know the drill, but I had to, you know, prompt him to pay for our shit. So he did though. He paid for me and Brat. We take a seat or whatever. And we get to talking. And I don't know what it is about Liar. Like to this day, he is so quick to tell people what is going on between us or what's not going on between us for that matter. Like if I'm walking down the street and I say hi to a random person like, oh my God, I love your shoes. He'd be like, I could buy her some shoes like that, but she be acting funny. Like I don't know what's wrong with her. Like, bro, chill out. So that's basically what he was doing at brunch. Like I'm sitting down talking to Brad and he's like, yeah, just out of nowhere. Yeah, your friend be playing with me, bro. Like what's wrong with her? Like I'm a good dude. I'm just trying to take care of her, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, instantly irritated, but not showing it because I don't care. Like I'm just hanging out and he's just chatting. I don't know why this is coming up, but whatever. So here go my friend being an asshole. Like she knows that she's being an asshole at this point. So she's feeding into it like, what? Diamond, why? Why you don't want to go to Atlanta? Why you don't like just feeding into everything that he's saying? But I feel like she's like trying to be funny because she knows that I'm not into this dude like that. But somehow, I just start calling her publicist because she's speaking for me now. She's like making plans for me with this guy, and them two together decide that I'm going to Atlanta with him. So I just roll with it, like, fuck it. Okay, I guess I'm going to Atlanta. Yeah, I'll go to Atlanta. And I mean it. Like, yeah, I'll go to Atlanta. So we're enjoy brunch or whatever. Brunch ends. Later that night, he hits me up like, yo, I'm serious about Atlanta. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, I'll go to Atlanta. Like, that's fine. So he plans Atlanta. Or so he's supposed to be planning Atlanta. So I don't hear from him much. Like, we don't talk all throughout the day or nothing like that. But like every day or every other day, he's like, yeah, so we gonna be lit. I want you to dress like this. I only stay at the best hotels. I'm from Atlanta, or I got a second home in Atlanta, so I know the area. Like, just talking up Atlanta. So I'm like, okay, cool. It's about to be a good time. But he's never telling me any of the real plans. Like, when is our flight going to be? Where are we going to stay? Like, he's not telling me any of that. So in my head, this is not a real trip. You're just chatting, and I don't care either way. So it gets to like a Wednesday, maybe a Tuesday. And he's like, yeah, so I'm thinking, he hits me up. Like, we're not talking about Atlanta at all, but he hits me up like, yeah, I'm thinking we could go to Atlanta this weekend. I'm gonna book you a flight. What's your last name? And I'm just like, my last name is, I have a full-time job, so I can't just up and go to Atlanta. You haven't said anything really about it. So I need more time. I can't go this week. And plus, I'm very aware of my means and I live within them. And I can't just go to Atlanta with 3 days notice, okay? I got to make sure the fits is right. I got to make sure the hair is right. I got to make sure I have money in my pocket. I got to make sure I can afford an emergency flight home if you decide to do some funny shit. I got to make sure, period. I got to make sure. So I'm like, I can't go to Atlanta this weekend. So he's like, oh, see, you playing. I knew, blah, blah, blah. So then we get to bickering like, it's not me playing. I have to plan accordingly. I can't just drop everything because some of us work on the books. Some of us clock in and out of work. Some of us have to ask work for time off, okay? Pipe down. Yeah, so that was that. But basically, I told him, like, in 2 weeks, we'll go to Atlanta. So he's like, okay, cool. I give him my last name. He tells me he's about to book the flights and all that. I'm like, cool. Never gave me a flight confirmation, though. Keep that in mind. He never gave me a flight confirmation. So we're chatting. Basically, we do end up going to dinner like once. At this point, if we're going to be taking a trip, I need to try to build some type of bond with you, right? Right. So what happened? Why did the trip? Oh, so we're talking one day, and of course he brings up the Atlanta again. Like, yeah, I only stay at the best hotels. I stay at the top floor, penthouse status, da 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 da. He's like, these rooms like $2,500 a night. Probably exaggerating, or I'm probably exaggerating right now. Maybe he said these rooms like $1,500 a night. I don't know. So I'm like, damn, you spending that much on 2 rooms? He's like, 2 rooms? Yeah, baby, 2 rooms. So he's like, why would I get 2 rooms? I'm like, I need a room and you need a room. So now we're going back and forth. He's like, what would you need if I'm taking you to Atlanta? What would you think you need 2 rooms for? And I'm like, well, for starters, we don't know each other like that for me to be wanting to share a room with you. And for 2, I'm like, I'm a woman. We do some things in private. And again, I don't know you like that. So there's some things that I might not want to do in front of you. He's like, well, I could step outside if you gotta, what you gotta go boo-boo? Like, you scared you can't go boo-boo? I'm just like, maybe that too, but I just don't want to share a room with you. So long story short, it becomes like a little argument. And he's like, man, fuck it. You playing around. You could stay home. I guess I'll cancel that flight. Oh, y'all, that's crazy. So when he said he'll cancel that flight, I just remember thinking he is the ultimate clown, because at this point I had not given him my last name. I know you didn't book me no flight because you don't know my last name, sir. You don't know my last name. So that was, oh my God, that was so funny. I forgot all about that. But yeah, so I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah, do you. It's cool. So we kind of stopped talking after that, right? I had talked to him for like a good week or so until I run into him at the hookah bar where I always am, where he always is. So me, like, I got a little bit of an attitude, but not really, because it's not like I was feeling you. You broke my heart and like you canceled this trip that I was dreaming about. Like, I literally did not care. So when I saw him at the bar, I was like standoffish just because of the way everything went down, but I wasn't salty in any way. So we ended up chatting it up at the bar. Of course, he's buying drinks and stuff, so I'm being nice. Excuse me, sorry. So I'm being nice. He's buying the drinks or whatever. And it comes up again, like, and he's doing that thing. He's telling my friends, like, yeah, I tried to take her to Atlanta. She gonna disrespect me, talking about she got to have her own room. He telling my friends, like, I'm not gonna do nothing to her. Like, what she need her own room for? Da 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 da. And my fucking fake ass friends gonna act like they agree with him. Like, yeah, no, I get what you're saying. That is crazy. But then they playing devil's advocate. Like, yeah, but you know, females, we have our ways and blah blah blah. Like, child, y'all know damn well he is wrong, because you. And this is why I always say that if you're gonna take a trip with a man, especially one that you don't know, 9 times out of 10 they are gonna expect sex. And me, I feel like that's wrong. You cannot expect anything from me just because you're taking me somewhere. So with that said, if I agree to go on a trip with anybody, I need to make sure I have security in my pocket. So if shit gets weird, or if you feel like you don't want me on this trip no more, I don't gotta be on your trip no more. I could get a room right next to your ass, and I will go to the club and dance right outside your section and have a good old time and bag niggas right in front of you. I will bag niggas from your section, okay? Because I'm not on your trip no more. I don't know. I don't see how people do it, but it can't be me. It won't never be me, all right? Just so y'all know that. But yeah, so he's telling them all of this stuff, and I'm just so irritated. Like, why do you do this? So they dispersed. I seems like I'm always like the last one to want to go home. So somehow I ended up lingering around there with just him. And we just started talking about the Atlanta thing again. Like, yeah, you know, I'm just uncomfortable. I don't think that I would want to go all the way to Atlanta anyway. We don't really know each other like that, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, okay, well, I'm going to the city next weekend. Won't you come to the city with me? I'm not going to say what city. I'm just going to say the city, if you know what I mean. I mean, y'all will probably know what I mean now. Fuck, whatever. Yeah, so he's like, I'm going to the city. That's like only 2.5 hours from where I live. I have family out there, so I don't mind going to the city, because if you try to do some funny shit, I can get home. I can have somebody pick me up. Like, the city is not a big deal. So I'm like, cool, I will go to the city with you. So we make this plan on like a Monday. Friday rolls around, and I have a date with somebody else on that Friday. And I actually have a story time about that, so I'll touch on that later. But I have a date on Friday. Saturday, Liar picks me up and we head to the city, right? So we're on the road. Like I said, the city is like 2.5 hours. We're like 40 minutes into our drive, and the motherfucker done smoked like 2 cigarettes already, 3 cigarettes. So I'm kind of disgusted already, honestly. Like, I cannot stand cigarettes. I'm not into smokers in general, because I just feel like people rely on that shit too much. Like, it's no reason why you got to be high to eat. Okay, and cigarettes just stink. I don't understand the point of a cigarette at all, but to each their own. It's just y'all be irking me when y'all act like you can't function without it, you know? So he's smoking 2 cigarettes, so I'm already kind of turned off. We're not really talking much in the car at first. It's like 30 minutes, and it's just him smoking cigarettes, listening to music and shit like that. So I'm kind of feeling like it's gonna be a bad trip. After that, we kind of start, you know, chatting, and I'm talking to him. We laughing. I'm like, yo, he's kind of cool. He's not that bad, right? Right. So now we're like an hour and a half, which means the city is like 45 minutes away, right? He gets a phone call. The call lasts a good 5 minutes, maybe. Person is checking on him, seeing if he got where he was going yet. He tells them, like, you know, I'm just outside the city. I'll be there soon. I'm gonna let you know when I get there. They're like, yeah, okay, cool. I love you too. Whoever he's talking to, he just told them I love you too, right? So now I got a look on my face, but I'm looking straight. But I can see kind of like in my peripheral that he is looking straight, like he don't want to look at me at all. So that makes me look at him. I'm just like, he hit me with one of these. He kept his face fucking straight. He's like, but like smiling, like, what the fuck is funny? Like, I know you're not serious right now. Mind you, it's funny to me because of the way he's acting. Like, he, like a child, like, you know, you're in the wrong kind of thing, but you're smiling. Like, that was kind of funny. No, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but yeah. But he did tell somebody, I love you too, when he hung up the phone. And it, you know, I couldn't really hear, but I would have guessed that it was a female by the distant voice that I heard on the phone. So now I'm kind of getting attitude. Oh, I'm sorry. I left out the part that he invited me to the city because he was supposed to be taking me shopping. He said he wanted to take me to the city to take me shopping. That is the reason we were going to the city, right? So we get into the city and I'm expecting, like, I don't like the city, first of all. So I don't know. I don't go to the city a lot. I don't know none of the areas. But the area that I do know is like Times Square, you know, the strip with the big Macy's and the mall and the Foot Lockers and shit like that. Like, I'm expecting to go there because I know you're not about to take me to like no Gucci store or no shit like that. So I'm thinking you're going to take me somewhere centralized where we could get a lot of stuff like Macy's or something like that. He takes me to Land of the fucking Knockoffs, okay? An area that I've never heard of, that only people that are from the city know of. It's called, I'm not going to say what it's called, just to keep that on, like, I don't know. I'm not going to say what it's called, but it's one of those areas that got like clothes on a hanger outside the door and, you know, fake logo clothing in the window and shit, like plastic hangers. Like, we're in Land of the Knockoffs, okay? And I'm fucking pissed because I'm not a label whore, for one. I'm not pressed to wear a label, and I damn sure am not gonna wear a fake one. I would wear something that looked like something else. Like these Steve Madden boots, they look like the Prada boots, but they're Steve Madden, and I'm fine with that. Cause yeah, no. Yeah, no, I'm not wearing fake clothing, okay? I'm just not. So I'm pissed now. I'm heated. I'm so fucking mad. He's like, yeah, so you see any stores you like? Like, I don't see any stores I like. These stores don't even have names. I don't know. I see a bunch of fake shit. That's a cute Fuji shirt over there. It's adorable, but okay. So I have an attitude now. So he just keeps pointing out stores like, oh, they look like they got cute stuff. They look like they got cute stuff. You don't want to go in here? You want to stop here? And I'm like, no. He's like, all right, well, I got to stop somewhere. I just got to pick up some shoes or a belt or something like that. So I'm like, I'll sit in the car, because the store he was going in was like right there. If y'all go in the city, you know, it's crazy to find parking. And I know I don't want him to be like, oh, let's walk around. So I'm like, I'll stay in the car, because I feel like that gives him a sense of urgency. He'll get in the store and get out, which he did. So he gets out the store again. He's like, yo, you don't want nothing? You don't want nothing? I'm like, no, I don't see nothing. Then I'm like, oh, I need to find a hair store, though. I need like edge control and lash glue and shit like that. So we pull up to a corner. There's a hair store. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, I need money to go in a hair store. So he gives me a nice, crispy little $100 bill or whatever. I spend the whole $100 in the hair store. Just because we're supposed to be here shopping for me, and I'm not getting anything because you got me in the Land of the Knockoffs. So I'm going to spend it all in the hair store. So I buy a curling wand, a bunch of lashes, edge control, makeup, just random shit. I spend $100 or whatever. So I come out the store, like, mind you, I was about to try to be funny because I had like $7 in change or whatever. I was about to give it to him. I'm like, here's your change. He's like, I don't want no fucking change. I'm like, oh, okay. So that was that. So then we're driving again, but he going slow because he's still trying to point out the different stores to me. He's like, you don't want nothing. He's like, I won't feel right if you don't get nothing. Like, we came out here for you. So I'm like, oh my God. Okay, we'll go in this store. He's like, you don't like this store? Look, they got jackets and stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. We'll go in this store. So I go in the store and they sell pretty generic stuff. It looked like they got like Fashion Nova clothes in there, right? So I get like a few pairs of pants and a fur jacket and shit like that. End up spending like close to $400 or whatever. Close to $400. So that was cool. We get to the hotel. Oh, mind you, on the way, we had this discussion again about the rooms. Because remember, I did not want to share a room with him in Atlanta. Why would you think I want to share a room with you in the city? So it came up and he's like, no, I didn't get you your own room. But mind you, I'm already in the car on the way to the city. And he's just saying it casually like, no, I didn't get you your own room. Why would I get you your own room? silly me, why wouldn't I get my own room? Because I already knew what type of time he was on. But I'm like, whatever. I'm like, you're gonna get us 2 beds. He's like, yeah, we could do 2 beds, no problem. So we go shop, we do our little shopping or whatever. We get to our first hotel, and I'm sitting in the car in the parking lot for a good hour. Like a good hour. So I'm just sitting here getting madder and madder and madder. Finally, he come out. Basically, the hotel overbooked because, you know, he booked his through a third party. So the hotel filled up their rooms on their own, and like the third party reservations got pushed to the side, and it was a big old hassle. So they set us up at another hotel. So we go to that hotel. It's decent. Mind you, he had a king room booked at the original hotel, 1 bed. God was on my side because that hotel overbooked us, sent us to like a affiliate hotel, and we got stuck in a 2-bed room. So I'm like, okay, cool. My luck is turning around. So we get some food or whatever. We go to the rooms. I take a shower. I'm just like, well, I didn't take a shower yet, but we go to the room. We talking. He's like, yeah, you know, get dressed. Make sure you look good. We going to the strip club. Da da da. I'm like, I don't need to be told to make sure I look good. I'm gonna look the fuck good. But yeah, so I'm like laying out the options of what I think I might want to wear. And he's just looking at me. He's like, you gonna wear that? I said, yeah, or that. He's like, oh, I thought you was gonna wear like something that I bought you. And I'm like, no, none of that is strip club kind of clothes. He's like, yeah, but I want you in something tight. I want some skin out. And I'm just looking like, I don't give a fuck what you want. And maybe if you did buy me something that would work for the strip club, I would have wore that. But 2, don't. I look the fuck good in everything I put on, for 1. So for you to be turning up your nose at the stuff that I think I want to wear, first of all, that's rude. And second of all, you don't got no style, no way. You think that as long as your hat match your sneakers that you put on that shit, and you did not. Just so you know, liar. So yeah, I lay my clothes out or whatever. I'm like, fuck that. Like, I'm gonna wear what I want to wear. I don't really care what you're saying at this point. So I take a shower, do my makeup, come out, grab my clothes. I end up wearing, it was like a long sleeve bodycon dress. Like, it hugs everything. It looks great. So he's looking at me like, damn, you look so good, blah, blah, blah. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, exactly. Trust the process. So now he's like, you want to take a picture? Let's take a picture. I'm like, no, I don't want to take no picture. For what? For what? Because I'm not, for what? So I'm like, no, I'm good. He's like, come on, man. What? I don't look good. You don't want to take a picture with me? Like, okay, you know what? You look so fucking sexy, daddy. Come on, let's take a picture. Let's take this picture. So we take the picture, right? You know, that from the behind, from the side, you know, all of that, right? He's like, show him the picture. He's like, oh, that's fire. That's fire. What you about to do with that picture? You about to post me? You about to try to post me? Nigga, no. No, I'm not gonna post you at all. No, I'm not. So that was funny, but whatever. We go out to the strip club, right? The club is a vibe. He's like, we walk in, he give me like a stack, maybe like $300. I don't know. He give me a little stack. I'm throwing that shit on everybody at first. Then he's like, slow down. Take your time. We gonna be here for a while, blah, blah, blah. But that 300 stack is gone. So I'm like, all right, but I need more money. So he calls the server over, you know, tells her to bring more money. She brings out more stacks of money. Like, the strip club is a vibe. We got the bottles, you know, the girls just walking around or whatever. One thing about me, I don't know why, no discrimination. It was like a lot of Spanish and Latina women in there. So I was specifically holding my money for the black girls or the African American girls. And no discrimination, because the Latinas look the fuck good, but I feel like they're always favored, and there were a lot more of them in the club, so I felt like they, and also it just happened that way because like when they were dancing, they would all dance together, like kind of like a gangbang, like they was all making the money together. But when the black girls would try to dance with them, they would be like stomping on the money, like, no, this is mine, scoop it over. And like the black girls was doing that too, so I'm like, okay, this is fucking turf war shit. So, you know, I'm gonna pick a side. I'm sorry. I'm gonna give my money to the chocolate girls because I can relate. Shit. I can relate. I don't know. Y'all gonna get y'all money regardless because y'all cute and everybody be loving y'all. So I'm gonna give my money to the chocolate girls. So that was that. But we had a good night at the club or whatever until it was like maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I get a phone call and they basically tell me that, like, you know, somebody that I know passed away. So I was sad. I was having a moment in the club. I probably cried. Had to get myself together over the span of like 30 minutes. I was just in a funk. So that was that. That kind of took the mood down. And I started bringing it back up. But by the time, you know, I got back in the swing of things, it was time for us to leave, right? And this is not an excuse, but it's like when we got back to the hotel room, that's kind of still fresh too. And then you're telling girls that you love them on the phone. You're trying to take me shopping in the fucking cuckoo land with all these fake ass clothes. Like, it was a bunch going on. So when we got back to the room, I have it in my head that it's going to be very easy for me to curb you in regards to, you know, sex, because everything was just not what it was supposed to be today. So I don't even have to feel bad about telling you that you're not getting none the itchy nana, right? So I go in the bathroom. He's like, where you going? I'm like, I'm going to change my clothes. He's like, yeah, you put something sexy on, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, got you, daddy. Got you. I come out the bathroom with a full fucking body girdle kind of suit on, right? So he's like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, what? This not cute. This how I sleep. So he's pissed now. He's like, man, come on. I told you to wear something sexy. Oh, mind you, while I was in the bathroom. So the bathroom had like a wall, but out. It wasn't attached to the roof, so you can like kind of hear over the wall. It wasn't a room. It was just a wall. So we could hear each other. So we talking, and he told me that he was naked. But I kind of thought he was joking. So when I came out the room, he was under the covers, and he's questioning me about what I'm wearing. So I'm like, what are you wearing? What are you sleeping? He's like, I told you I'm naked. I'm like, you better not be naked. He said, no, I'm naked. So I grabbed the cover and pull it back like, you better fucking not be naked. He's like, what the fuck you doing? Like, grab the covers back, put it on. So I'm like, oh, you're really naked. Why are you naked? Like, why are you naked? He's like, so that was awkward. I don't know why, but I ended up laying in the bed with him. Like, I kind of felt bad. I think I embarrassed him maybe when I pulled the covers off. I don't know. So I laid next to him to be nice and kind of make sure he was not mad at me. And he wasn't, because of course he starts like, you know, rubbing on my stomach and my boobs and stuff and my butt. And, you know, that's all fine and dandy. But then he tries to kiss me. So I'm like, oh, chill out, you know. I basically roll over like I'm about to go to sleep. So I hear him catch a little attitude. He's like, you serious, man? You serious? I'm like, yeah, I'm tired. I had a long day. Like, I just found out some crazy news. I'm not in the mood for this right now. He's like, yeah, no. He's like, damn, that's crazy though. Like, for real. Like, he's trying to be empathetic because, you know, I did just find out that a friend of mine passed away. So he's kind of be empathetic, but then he'll revert to, for real though, man? Like, come on. So that goes on for like a good 5 minutes. And then he, you know, he's just over it. He sucks his teeth, rolls over, and goes to sleep. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go to sleep, wake up in the morning, you know, we're like kind of chatting, not really. He's trying to act like he got an attitude, but he really don't. But he's like, damn, I'm mad at you, bro. How you gonna play me like that? We were supposed to have a good night. And I'm like, we did have a good night. You didn't have a good night with me? He's like, I mean, I did, but you know what I mean. Like, you played me, man. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. So, you ready to go? Like, you ready to go? So we, you know, we get packed up, we head out, we check out and everything. We're supposed to be getting on the road, or so I thought. He's like, oh, I gotta make a stop. I'm like, okay, cool, you gotta make a stop. We end up going to this custom fur coat shop, right? Coats is fire. The coats in this shop are fire. I want one. So we're in the shop or whatever, and he's basically picking up a coat that he put a deposit on. So he had to pay like an additional $1,000 on the coat or something like that, right? So the guy who sells the coats, they're over there talking, you know, about size and fit and everything like that. So the guy who sells the coat, he's like, well, can't she just try it on right now? I hear this. And he's like looking at me. So so Liar is looking at him like, it's not for her. So I'm like, that's not my coat. Like, cause it's not my coat. So he's like, oh, well, the guy don't know what to say now. He's joking. He's like, well, do you want one? I'm like, oh, nah, it's okay. He's like, nah, come here. He's like, if you try one on, I bet you're gonna love it. Lo and behold, I tried on one of the coats. These fucking coats are huge. Like, they're nice, big, puffy. I tried on this, like, electric baby blue one. It was kind of like this kind of color. It was like this. But yeah, it was really cute. So I'm like, wow, I actually do love it. Like, how much are these? Like, just asking questions. So here come Liar, like, oh, you want one? She want one. He was like, how much to put a deposit on this one? Like, asking about the coat or whatever. So I'm like, what? I'm like, no, I don't want one. No, thank you. And y'all like, bitch, you dumb. You should have got a coat, blah, 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 blah. But y'all got to realize, on the way up to the city, I already heard him talking to this female. I know he has somebody in his life. So from that point, I knew that I was going to be cutting him off. It makes no sense for me to let him put a deposit on a coat, because that means I have to play nice with him up until the point where he picks up the coat. And I don't want to do that. I don't want nothing to do with you at this point. So y'all gonna think I'm crazy. Y'all might chew me out and say I'm dumb and I should have got the coat, or I should have got what I can out of him. But I don't operate that way, okay? Even if I was looking at this kind of like a sugar daddy arrangement, I still need to like you. I still need to think that you're a decent person. And right now, I don't. So, no, I don't want your coat. So I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I don't want a coat. He's like, are you sure? The guy's telling him like, yeah, $150 deposit for the coat, blah, 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 blah. So he's like counting it out. He's like, are you sure? I will get you the coat. We didn't even really go shopping yesterday. I'm like, nope, it's cool. I don't want the coat. So the coat, mind you, the coat he picked up was ugly as shit. It looked like it was Blade's winter coat. It's like a velvet, burgundy kind of fur coat, and it's long like a trench coat, and then the sleeves have like a big like flap on them, like it's just long. The coat was fucking ugly. So I low-key been hoping to see whoever this coat was for in the coat, just so I can have a full picture of the dumbness of this fucking coat. But that has nothing to do with nothing. But yeah, that coat was ugly. My coat was fire. I should have fucking got it. But yeah, so, and I took like the info for the store, like the number and the address and stuff, because I'm gonna go back and get me one of these coats one of these days. But yeah, so we get on the road, you know, we get home, we like hug goodbye and everything, and that's that. Because again, in my head, I am not gonna be dealing with this man anymore. And that's basically what I did. Like, I ghosted him or whatever. A good week or so goes by, and he calls himself pressing me about me acting funny and playing him when we went to the city. So I basically let him have it. I'm like, first of all, you think I'm dumb. I know that you have a girlfriend or something. Actually, I went into his Facebook. So when I first met this guy, I'm sorry, I gotta go backwards. When I first met him, I went to his Facebook. I didn't go through his Facebook because I didn't care like that, but I did go to his Facebook, and his cover photo was like a cartoon, kind of like that snap filter of a cartoon. It was him and a woman. So I asked him about it. He told me that woman was basically his child's mother. They've been like in each other's lives since teenagers. That's his best friend, blah, blah, blah. And of course that sounds like bullshit to me, but at that time, I don't really care. So moving forward, when I find out, you know, when he's telling a girl he loves him and stuff like that, I'm like, now I'm investigating. I'm like, oh, like, yeah. So the day I got back, the baby mama, the best friend, I go to her page and I see that he gifted her with a Telfar bag and some flowers. And, you know, she's like, oh, thank you, baby. I love you. You spoil me, blah, blah, blah. Like one of those. I'm like, oh, y'all is not best friends. But
y'all, her thank you to him basically clarified that he was her fiance. Like, she showed his ring. He's like, oh, thank you, baby. Love you. Blah, blah, blah.
Like, did you have the fucking Telfar bag in your trunk? Like, where did the bag come from? Why didn't I get a bag? Like, yeah, so... so that was that. So then like a couple weeks later when he called himself pressing me, I let him have it. I'm like, you have a whole fiance. You had the nerve to answer her phone call while I was in the car, which as you should, but then you're telling her you love her and you're smiling. You think it's funny. You think I'm a fucking joke. And then you basically tried to set me up because you knew I didn't want to share a room with you. And I felt set up. Like, we ended up in the same room. You don't have no respect for me. And you're a fucking liar. Like, I never intended to be your girlfriend, any of that. So when I first asked you about this girl, especially, like, girls these days, sometimes they really don't care. Like, if you're upfront with them about your situation, they might be like, well, fuck it. He you know, as long as he's spending money on me, I don't care. I'm not that type of girl, but I could have been. And you will never know because you initially went to lying. You deferred to lying. So I don't fuck with you. So I basically let him know all that. Cut him off, blocked him on my social medias and everything. Months go by. Now I'm in an actual relationship with somebody or whatever. And I go to the bar with his friends' girlfriends. Like, so we could just get to know each other because I feel like I would be around these girls a lot, right? We go to the bar and who do we see? Liar. And I told y'all how Liar just likes to tell people everything about us. And that's exactly what the fuck he did. This is my first time hanging out with these girls. I don't even know their last names yet at this point. He knows one of the girls. I don't know how, but he knows one of the girls. And he instantly like, oh, this your friend? Man, I was on her bad. She dogged me. She won't speak to me. I don't even know why. I didn't do nothing to her. So now I'm just looking like, you don't know why you didn't do nothing to me? But I'm letting it go because I don't feel like getting into this. Like, I'm at the bar and I don't know these girls like that for you to be just telling them all this shit. So that I'm like, I just brush it off like, yeah, whatever. Then he's like, man, where your purse at? Where your purse at? I'm like, my purse is right in front of me. I'm like, it's right here. He's like, how much you want? He was like, how much you want? I'll put it in your purse right now if you forgive me, even though I didn't do nothing. So then I get mad and I basically start yelling like, you didn't do nothing. You took me shopping supposedly to some random ass area that I don't even know about. And you had a whole fiance. Like, now we kind of like, not arguing, but my tone is a little louder, but it's kind of still playful. So it's not an argument. I don't know. So all of that came out or whatever, right? And I basically just let him know, like, listen, I don't fuck with you like that, okay? It's weird. It's weird. Then, basically, it all comes out that the girl is his freaking fiance. So when we're arguing back and forth, he basically confirmed it himself. He was like, man, you knew I had a fiance. We talked about it the first day we met. No, the hell we did not. Because one thing about me, even as experimental as I was feeling and trying to connect with you off the strength of, you know, benefiting in that whole sugar daddy kind of way, I would not entertain, never will have ever on purpose, never would I do it again, deal with a person who has a fiance, a wife, not even a baby mother that, like, if you have a baby mother that you live with or that you have any type of active relationship with, I have to bow out respectfully. 1, I just don't think that shit is cute. 2, I don't want to play second to nobody. And 3, I'm not with the drama, okay? I'm not Big Billy Badass. I don't think I could beat everybody. I don't think I could beat anybody. I am not the type of person to be like, I don't give a fuck if you got a baby mama. I'll beat her ass. Like, no. I don't want no parts of no drama of anything, okay? Okay. So, yeah, that was that. And honestly, that whole thing, but it's funny because I still see this guy when I go out. And like, sometimes I avoid him, sometimes I speak. I'm trying to, like, you know, play it, see if I can get what I can get from him in this moment, because I'm really not, I'm over you in the long run, I'm over you. So like, he'll see me like across the room and just be like, what, stupid? So I'll go up to him and be like, I'm mad at you, man. We had so much fun. What can I do to get us back to what we was? Like, honey, that ship has sailed. Okay? Now, if you want me to be cordial with you again and consider talking to you again, which would never happen. I would, this might sound bad, but I might even just play a little nicer and give you an inch or lead you on to thinking it would be something if you go buy me that coat. Yeah, go give me that coat. It's like, no, I would never fuck with you again, even though I never really fucked with you, but I really want that coat. I should get one for this winter, actually. But yeah. So that's the time of when my sugar daddy experience went wrong. He took me shopping to buy knockoff clothes, and I found out he had a fiance. Oh my God, and icing on top of the cake, his fiance's daughter is like in my age group. So all of my friends know the daughter. They're like, yeah, that's such and such. Like they hang out with her or have hung out with her or something. I don't know, but like they know her. Like this is a person. And that instantly becomes weird because I don't like, especially when I'm dealing with somebody older, to have any type of relationship with their kids. It just becomes weird. And I actually have another story. I have a story about that too, because I'm really attracted to older men generally. So I was talking to this man once and I found out that his daughter is somebody that was like in my friend group. And then it became super weird. So I couldn't talk to him anymore after that. But that's another story for another time. Until next time, y'all, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And again, this is D.DukesXxx. My TikTok is D.DukesXxx. And my Instagram is Diamond Dukes. Okay, you need to follow them all. And please let me know how you enjoyed this video. Also, please let me know which video I should tell for the next time. It would either be the time I got assaulted by a crackhead or what was the other one? Oh, my New Year's Eve brawl, my first fight. Okay, so y'all let me know which one y'all want to hear with that, okay? Until next time, though, bye.